the the depth of this rabbit hole is very deep. So let me back you up to around 2008. The state attorney here in Palm Beach decided not to prosecute. The chief of police for Palm Beach, who I knew very well at the time, was vehemently upset at the state attorney's office. So what he did is he wrote a scathing letter to the state attorney about why they weren't prosecuting. And after he did that, the chief of police called the FBI in and said, you all need to investigate this. And they started this investigation. And I started working with a couple of the agents and talking to them about who they were going to investigate, talk to. They interviewed over 40 young girls. And they have those interview transcripts, by the way. That's part of what the DOJ has failed to turn over, are those original interviews that the FBI did of those 40 victims, 40 plus victims. They then had all this evidence. And Acosta's team at the time, there was a U.S. attorney, assistant U.S. attorney by the name of Maria Villafana. And I was talking to her about what they were doing. And she was all excited about, oh, we're going to prosecute this. And we've got an indictment and we're preparing it. 54-count indictment that they were getting ready to file and prosecute. And then silence. I'm calling. I hear nothing. Nobody's answering my calls anymore. Villafana is not answering my calls until one day I hear from an agent who calls me and she says, you need to get to the courthouse right now. I'm like, why? I grab my jacket. I run down to the courthouse with a copy of one of the complaints I wanted to serve on Epstein for one of my clients in a civil case. And walking through the metal detector, I have the photos. I took them. I snapped photos as I walked through the metal detector. Epstein's walking through. We go up to the courthouse, and all of a sudden, everyone is packed in this courtroom, all the U.S. attorneys, the state attorneys, everybody, and they announce that there's a deal. No one ever told the victims. No one ever told the victims' attorneys like myself, hey, look, we're negotiating a deal, discussing a deal, nothing. And Alex Acosta pushed that deal through. And then we had to fight for another 8 months just to get a copy of the crappy deal that they entered because they refused to turn it over. It's atrocious how this all played out. And then, like you said, Acosta gets the sweetheart job in the Trump administration. And by the way, now he's sitting on the board of Newsmax.